Right, good grief. It didn't fail this week.
Oh, you like?
We could well be. Hello! For the first time ever, I didn't need to refresh the YouTube page. It's a miracle. It's nothing short of a miracle. Excellent. Excellent. That's amazing. Right, and I'm all organised. Something's bound to go wrong. Good evening, Carl. Good to have you with us. Oh, have we got a show tonight? Did you see my tweet? Did you see my very sexy tweet? In fact, I don't think it was mine. I think it was MacBites. Oh, exciting. So who's having a good Easter? We're exhausted already, and it's only the first day you're off, isn't it? I should take you through what we've got tonight. We've got lots. We've got lots tonight. Bits of questions that have come in. But plenty of things to do. So, let me get this. So you can see it. You see my desktop, and then we can get on to what we're doing tonight. All right, desktop. Middle desktop. Share the desktop. You should see a blue desktop. The only problem with all of that is, it does annoy me that, when I do that, I can't see the chat. And I want to see the chat as well. So I'm going to let you look at my desktop for a second while oh dear, that iPad's no good, it's not charged. This is why I have 9 iPads, I forget to charge them. Oh, 93%, you'll do. You will do. Now let's get into YouTube on here, see if I can see myself going live. Nothing like stressing the internet, is the mic?
No.
And as long as I can, then I can get my slides up.
Paul's been on the beach.
Oh, I bet it's been really nice up there today. I really fancied that. We've got a friend who lives in Cleveland, and he was sat out in his garden saying he was having a fabulous time. Did look very nice. Weather here's warm and muggy and yuck. I don't like it warm. I like it cold, freezing cold. Colder the better. I can see it. Ah, fantastic. So let's give you something more interesting to look at than my desktop. Which isn't fascinating, is it? Right, let's do that. No, we can't do that. You know why we can't do that, Mike? That Camtasia thing, that green frame, when you've not pressed record, is awesome, isn't it? Because I haven't pressed record. I'm getting the dirtiest of dirty looks here at that.
Yeah, only because that's what you tell me.
Yes, it's exactly what I would tell you, but you've got to do as I do and not as I say. No, do as I say, not as I do. Right, hello, Graham. Hello. Has Graham been on the beach? You been on the beach, Graham? I like to think of you as a green man, Graham. You could put a teddy bear. You could put one of your gorgeous bears on there. Right, that's what we got tonight.
My AirPod case is down to 9%.
Oh my, poor Mike. Needs to charge his AirPod case. First world problems. Well, just put it on there. That's already plugged in. Well, why don't you just put the case on it?
Because it's a battle of wills.
It's a battle of will between you and it.
Get it down to 0.
It might never come back if you get it down to 0. You might just want to put it on there. Anyway, we need...
Paul's been to Cleveland.
Cleveland is nice. I actually like it. I mean, it's changed a lot. My mum used to absolutely love it. Graham's heard a story about Cleveland, only you probably won't remember, Graham. You'll remember the story. You won't remember it was Cleveland. My mother adored Cleveland. She loved all the little shops and the little market. So we'd go up there probably about 4 or 5 times a year, wouldn't we? And we liked it too. We took Maya with us. The first time we went, he was probably about 15 weeks, something like that, about 3.5, 4 months old. And we got down to where the road that the trams are on. So walking down from the beach, down the main road where Boots and Smiths used to be, down to the tram stop. And he pegged, bless him, and my dad had to carry him back. What was he like? He literally just couldn't walk anymore. Anyway, once he got older, he left us for dead going in Cleveland. But when he was a baby, we took him down there and he couldn't walk, bless him. We stopped at a cafe. This story is coming back to Graham now. And at this cafe, it was outside. He was only about 3, 4 months old. He was a baby. And they had these cast iron tables. So Mum said, we can't take him in, but we'll sit outside with him. So we tied him to the table. You are already thinking this won't end well, I know. But he was only a baby. And everything was fine. We had the tea on it, we had the coffee on it, everything was fine. Until this German Shepherd had the temerity to walk past his pack. Well, first off, to be honest, it was the German Shepherd that started it because it growled at him. Well, that was the end of that. He took off like he'd been shot, took the table and the tea and coffee with him. With us in hot pursuit.
You know when you're saying he's a baby?
Yeah.
Obviously, he's a puppy.
He's a puppy.
Yeah, but for those not in the know.
For those who don't know he was a dog,
Yes.
You may be a bit concerned.
I've got this vision of this 2-year-old kid tied to a table.
On reflection, it wasn't the wisest place I'd ever tied him. But what can I say? I was a new Samoyed owner, and well, when I say owner, slave, slave to him. It's a heck of a story.
I want to know what Graham's bought from the garden centre.
What have you bought from the garden centre, Graham? £126? Oh my!
I could have got an apple kit.
I have been to a garden centre. I came home with a pot polar bear.
Because it was like Mayor.
Yep, because it was like, mate, is my pot polar bear over there? He used to sit on that shelf there. Is he there? I think I must have moved my pot polar bear. He used to sit where that drive is. I think I had to move him to put the drive there. I'll find my pot polar bear and show you. They had animatronic polar bears as well. In fact, dogs weren't allowed in one of our local garden centres. And they had this beautiful display at Christmas. We took my mother up there a few years back. And they had polar bears. And they're animatronic polar bears. But the size of them, they were very similar to Maya. Well, I said to Mike, I've got to take some pictures because I want to show him. And he's outside foaming at the mouth. And it was in like the atrium of the garden centre. So it wasn't actually inside the garden centre. It was on the way inside the garden centre. Well, when one of the staff members saw him, she said, bring him in, bring him in. I thought, this won't end well. And it didn't. Well, we took him in. He fell in love, didn't he? Yeah. And I said, you are not about to mount that one, dear boy. Because it's metal. I had visions of needing a vet. Yes, rather good. Okay, so tonight, I've got an update about DropBox. The nightmare that was DropBox. I mentioned last week stock images. Graham wanted stock images, vectors, all things nice. I've got quite an expensive bundle for you for free because I'm good like that. AutoPlay. What did I mean by AutoPlay? Oh, that's right. There's a way to stop browsers playing stuff, but it's not equal.
£6 for a piece of sponge cake. Mind you.
But we pay £5.
True.
We pay for, but then we get a cuppa and a cake for £5. Yeah. Graham, you need to come up here. We're cheaper up here. Yeah, AutoPlay. So we'll look at that. I then talked about video from Keynote, and I've actually done it for real. I hope the £6 included the mug, Graham. Then I've got a couple of slidey things to show you, and then we have the mother and father of all unboxings. Just as a tease, let me tease you. You know you like me teasing you. There you go. That was how it started. But before the end of the day, because we contemplated doing this on video, because I wanted my toys. But my toys are still boxed, and they grew throughout the day.
I had a mail from Paul.
All right, we've had a mail from Paul. Paul in Spain.
This just proves the show's live.
Yeah.
OMG, I've just finished drinking. See you in 1 kebab's time.
We should look forward to that, Paul. Hopefully Paul will be with us very shortly. So yes, during the day it grew. My stash grew. And that's what we'll be unboxing later. Do you think there's enough there to be going on with? I think so. So we'll get on with it then. Right, DropBox. The nightmare that was DropBox. Right, what happened was, you are all aware of what happened. They have made one fundamental change to their T's and C's, and if you don't have a paid account, what did I put on that slide? You're stuffed. You can only activate on 3 machines. So, I said to you last week, this has been in place for 3 weeks. Nobody told me. I had no notifications. Admittedly, I hadn't tried to add any devices, but I'd had no notifications. So, look at the date on that. Saturday, 13th of April. The day after our live, I got that. Do you think they were watching? There's a sad teddy bear on there. Well, I think it's a teddy bear. It's either that or something off Doctor Who. Did anybody else get that? That's what I want to know. Oh, Graham, a hard drive. Excellent. Excellent. The cake was delicious, I must admit. The cake was fabulous. So was it just me that got this? I'm feeling victimised now, Mike. Oh, did everybody get it? Did they decide to send it out 3 weeks late? I really don't know. Oh, Mike got it. So maybe they were just 3 weeks late with it all. Maybe they were waiting for the... So maybe they were just waiting for the proverbial to hit the fan and then they had to come clean about it. But yes, it came out a day after. So I still haven't done anything about that. It's going to need more thinking about. So we've got a couple of days off. So I decided I would think about it while we were off. I should really have just lit a candle for it, shouldn't I? I hoped inspiration struck because I've got so much hanging off it. It's going to be a nightmare. But I just thought I'd let you know, I did get an update and my update was that I got my email, which I wasn't expecting because they'd left it that long. But hey, now crank up your browsers. Stock images, stock image freebies. And I'm actually going to download these just to prove it works. She said, hopefully. Right. I mentioned that you can get a free Envato Elements account. Just to prove the point, because mine's a paid for account, I checked this on Mike's account. And indeed, you can. And it works. So what they did was, if you've got an account, they will have sent you a mail. Now, I don't know if you guys created an account. If you did, you may well have had this mail. If not, this will come as a complete surprise to you. They're calling it Friday Freebies. They do send them out a couple of times a month, at least a couple of times a month. You also get every month, I think it's 8 freebies. But these freebies aren't just like, you know, £1. They're pretty hefty in terms of money. There's 4 of them. And they add up to £122. In fact, dollars. I put pounds, but I meant dollars. These are them now. These are what you get for the next week for free. So they're all different file types. They're not just images. They're not just vectors. But those are the 4 that are free. And you can see that the price is there. The first one is a video. It's from Video Hive. So it's a video template that you can download and edit. Now, you will need the correct application. So if you've got After Effects or Motion, depending on where it came from, that's what that one is. The next one is an email template. Now, that is, well, it definitely works with MailChimp. I don't see Aweber on there, Mike, which is a great shame. But that's an email template with lots of different modules, apparently. Then there was a WordPress theme, which was the most expensive item up there. WordPress themes can either be, there's a whole slew of them for free, but then at the other end of the spectrum, they can be pretty hefty, expensive. Another thing that's expensive is audio. And I think you find the same, don't you, Mike? Trying to source audio is so time consuming because you have to search for it by genre and then you've got to listen to it and you listen to it and you think, no, that's totally not what I meant. This one's very nice. You'll be able to hear it. It'll autoplay, which brought into mind the autoplay thing that I'll be looking at later. But that one's $29. So what I thought we'd do is actually go and get them. Let's go and actually get them right now. So I've got those pages open in a browser, which is here. So let's get that. So I'm logged into my account. Mine is a paid for account, but like I say, it works on a free account. All you need is a free Envato account. Now, first thing, don't dive in until I've finished. Very important. There's a button. It says add all items to cart. Don't do that. Don't, on pain of death, do that. If you use that button, you'll get charged this amount. You'll get taken to a cart and it will have those prices into it. The trick is to click on each one of them individually. So what I did was held the Option key down, click, 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 and I opened the items in separate windows. At which point, oh, it's playing that helpfully. Right, at which point you see the option to download it for free. So all I need to do is click and it starts downloading it at the bottom there. Couldn't be easier, could it? There's no trick, there's no fill in this, do this thing, do that. Nothing. It just downloads them. So you are seeing this live. I had not downloaded these before. I've downloaded them now. Let's have a look at one of them. Let's have a look at the Audio Jungle one. So I'll click it to open it. It will open that in totally the wrong window as ever, and I will drag it on. So what you get when you unzip it is you get your license and you get another zip file, because this is audio and they give you multiple versions of it. So different lengths of it. So you've got MP3, you've got WAVs, and you've got different cuts of it. And then an info thing. And that one's actually really nice. I can see future MacBites videos using that music. It is very upbeat, it's very happy. We like that. We like that. So I know Graham specifically mentioned Vector, but Graham, come on. You can never have too many free toys, can you? So those are this week's freebies. They are available till the 26th. You've got 1 week to get hold of them. Enjoy. Enjoy. Right, let's now we might need to go back into there, so I'll take that out of the way. We might need to be back in there very shortly. Right, next thing. Who remembers Mark Reeder? And Mark Reeder we used to come to lots of MacBites, didn't he? MacBites learning events, but he's been incredibly busy. And he hasn't been for a while, but we keep sending the mails, and he replied to me, and we've started having a chat. And he recommended this, which is a short radio programme from the BBC Sounds service, which is available in the UK. If you are outside the UK, you may need to investigate, totally unrelated to this, obviously, a VPN to access it. But if you are in the UK, you will just need to go to BBC Sounds and put in the decade that invented. And you will find a whole collection of these programmes. I think it was about 12 to 15 minutes. It was very interesting. There wasn't interviews and stuff, but it was somebody talking through the history of Apple. So we've put a link in the chat there. You can get it from there. Nothing that you probably won't know if you're a massive Apple fanboy or girl, but always worth hearing. So it was a nice trip down memory lane about how Steve Jobs, right royally shafted, to be honest, was. Some of the stuff that they did together when they were building when they were working with the Home Brew Club, and that device that they had to make long distance phone calls for free, and how Steve Jobs made off with 75% of the money when it should have been split 50-50. You know all about it, I'm sure you do. Right, so one of the things I noticed with BBC Sounds and Envato was that they were automatically playing, and that was annoying me. So I thought, weren't they supposed to be bringing in both Firefox and Chrome ways to stop things auto-playing? So basically, nuke it. Well, yes, they were, is the short version. Wasn't working for me automatically, that's for sure. So I had to do a bit of research, and I'll look at Chrome and I'll look at Firefox. But in Chrome, you need to go to that address. So it's an internal address to Chrome. It's one of the flags. And each flag is bookmarked. Now, flags are preference settings that are usually hidden. There isn't an interface for them. They're flags. They're usually on or off. But there is a sort of interface. It's just not pretty. So we'll go to that URL first, and we'll have a look at that one. So let's go back to that browser. I think I had it keyed up in the next bit, which is there. So let's lose those downloads. Right. Now, when you go to that URL, chrome://flags, autoplay policy, etc., etc., it takes you here. And by default, it will be set to the default. Now, the default, if you've got autoplay, you would imagine would be don't do that. But actually it's not, and the default can change. Google can change their mind as to what happens when you set it to the default. There is only 2 options. There used to be 4. So Google rolled it out and gave you a lot of control and then rolled it back in again. And it was because games, I don't know if the manufacturers or people who made money by automatically playing stuff, but they complained vehemently. And they rolled it back in. So your options here are no user gestures required, meaning stuff will just autoplay, or you need to interact with it for it to play. So basically, I wanted to choose that one. What you would then need to do is relaunch, which I'm not going to do because I'm running this session via Chrome. So that would not be good, but that's how you do it. That's how you do it. And there's a lot of other things in here as well you might want to have a look at while you're there. Things that you can toggle on and off. Now, the other one, so that was Chrome. The other one is Firefox. Now, Firefox is a lot better about this. Firefox have kind of reinvented themselves as the guardians of internet morality. And what they've put in place actually works. And it's a lot easier to get to. And it's on by default. So let's go and have a look at that. So lose Chrome. Go find Firefox. Where are you hiding from me? There you are. So what you need to do in there is go to your preferences. Now, it does have hashtag general at the end, but all that does is actually take you to the top of your preferences. It works just as well if you lose the general and just press enter. It takes you to exactly the same place. Right, now, at that point, you can either scroll through all of this lot and try and make some kind of sense of it, or you can use the preferences and just put AutoPlay. At which point, the first way to stop it is to put a tick in the box that just says block websites from automatically playing sound. And that is blissful. It's sound, it's audio and video. Chrome's a bit sniffy about that as well. So I've got that enabled. And it's finally shut Macworld up. You know what I mean, don't you? Right, so tick in the box. The next thing is anywhere you want exceptions for. I don't want exceptions anywhere, but if you do, then you can put the exception in there and save the changes. And then you manage them in this list at the bottom. So if I wanted to say MacBites, we don't automatically play anything, but if we did, right, then you can allow that one. You can change the status of it, you can remove it, you can remove all the websites, and you can save the changes. So it's incredibly simple. What I did have, frantically trying to remember which one now, I think it was that positive happy thing. Don't know if you know you can do this either. I work constantly in 2 browsers. I know I'd binned Chrome. Chrome had to spring back to life. I had to spring back to life because I use it to access Notion. Chrome is dedicated to Notion for me. You can drag and drop between browsers, which makes my life a whole lot easier. So I've dragged that out of there, I've dragged it into here, and you will notice it is not auto-playing. Whereas, if I went to it in here, so let's say I've refreshed it, just gone there, it starts playing, and it annoys me. So, how do you manage that from in here? Well, there's an icon at the top. It's the sort of circle with a line through it and a play button underneath it. And it says you've blocked autoplay of media with sound for this website. Now, it doesn't mean, don't take it personal, Envato. I've done that for all sites. So any sites that try to automatically play audio will have that symbol there. You can click on that symbol and it will allow you to change the permissions in here. So you can choose to block it or allow from the actual button that's giving you the information telling you that it's blocked right now. I'm liking that. Life's a lot quieter, I can assure you. I'll also notice up here, I've got that one, which is also playing audio. So pretty much everything I've got here is playing audio, but that one's not. So it's great in Firefox. Firefox, life is now quiet. Right, I've spotted a question. And hello, sweetie. Did we do the P-Cloud thing? Not yet, but I will be doing. Probably this week. But more on that later. Right, so that was the autoplay thing. Just a very short thing, but very handy. And It's a shame that there's no consistency across browsers, unfortunately, but there isn't. So that's where we're at. Right, a few weeks back, we talked about making video from Keynote. Does anybody remember that? It was a few weeks back. I said you can make video from Keynote. And indeed you can. You can go in there and you can export it. And I actually showed you that. It should all be coming back to you right now. But I said to you that's not the way I would do it. I said I'd export everything and I'd use Camtasia. Well, this week, because After Hours is about sharing with you what we're actually doing. So it's real, it's genuine stuff. This week I had the need to make a video. And that's exactly what I needed to do. So I need to come out of Keynote, which I never do in these sessions, but I am at the moment. I'm coming out of Keynote because I need to open the presentation that had the content in it that needed to be exported. And helpfully, that's opened on the wrong screen. But what I'll do is I'll go there. Right, don't need to see that on this one, I don't think. What we've got here is a presentation that Mike delivered this weekend. This will explain, well, last weekend, this will explain some kit that was acquired later. Basically, he is now in charge of a local group called Brooklands 196. And the person in charge thanks the person who was in charge last year. Are you following along with this so far? So what we've got here is a series of slides that was delivered as a presentation. It wasn't a video. The carrots will make an appearance later. That was the frog racing. It was a fab night. So there's all these images. That one's a classic as well. That's a Bowles trophy. And if you're watching, Stuart, congratulations again. Because as we said, Ellen was thrilled. So there's all these images, which is basically the things that people did. So that was at Lancashire County Cricket, watching the Lancashire Lightning. This was a day where we all had a meal together. There was a gin night involved. There was a barbecue involved. And they went to Australia as well. So this was presented as a presentation. Okay, so that's the point of it. It wasn't a case of I'm making a video and I decided to make it in Keynote. It was being delivered as a presentation. So while Mike talked, I was there with a flicker, flicking through it. A couple of interesting points with the presentation. That Australia font, we liked it. We liked it a lot. But I was mindful of the fact it wouldn't travel well. We needed to take this presentation off this machine and put it on a laptop to present it. So that is not actually editable text, it's a graphic. And then there's Skippy in the corner. Skippy, Graham, are you listening? Skippy was a vector image that came from an Australia poster. It was free stock imagery, but it had all these shapes like Ayers Rock and boomerangs. And one of them was Skippy. And all I did was take that one element and put it on here. As we went through it, though, like this one, I realised I quite like that font and I started using it as a font. So then I had to transfer the font as well. And then there was the rest of it. So there's Mike looking rather worried. Now, do you remember me saying to you I had something very dicey on the table? Had something very dicey on the desk. And I couldn't tell you what it was because we were giving it as a gift to somebody. Well, I can officially reveal it was the inflatable kangaroo. You will also notice that Ellen, in addition to the corks on the hat, has carrots on the hat. The reason is she was in hospital and every meal was carrots. So I said to Mike, it's okay having this cork hat, but I've got to put carrots off on the end. And Mike's like, where are we going to get carrots? But we did. We got plastic carrots. So that was the presentation that we wanted to turn into a video because we'd recorded Mike's audio. Now, one option, you should all be shouting out now, one option would be to try and put the video, the audio rather, behind these slides in Keynote. Don't do that. It's horrific. It's impossible to get it lined up. No matter what you do, it doesn't play right. Trust me, I spent 3 days trying to sort this out about 3 years ago. And my conclusion was, use Photo Magico or don't bother. Now, there is another way because these needed some kind of transitions between them. but nothing catastrophic. They didn't need confetti, put it like that. A simple fade between them would do nicely. So this was what I did. I whipped down to the end of that part of the presentation, which would be 27. And once I know that, I did an export. Now, you may be thinking at this stage, of course you did it as a movie. No, I did not do it as a movie. I didn't do it as a movie because it needed, again, to match up with the audio. And if you look at that, it's going to the next slide after 5 seconds and then a build after 2 seconds. Well, that's fantastic. But, you know, we were on those slides for differing amounts of time. So that's why we didn't do it that way. No, we exported it as images. Not just JPEG images. I exported them as TIFF images. So I did 1 to 27 and I exported them. So I'll stick those in there. Can we stick them in there? That'll do. Hand over lunch. That'll do fine. So it just exports each slide as an image. And that was the Keynote part finished. So I can lose that file now. The next stage was getting it into Camtasia. Where's hand over lunch? There we go. Are you going to open on the right screen? I've definitely got weirdness going on with my calendar, you know. It keeps appearing on the desktop randomly. I've got definite weirdness going on. There we go. Right. Then I dragged and dropped them in here, which is what we've got here. You'll notice, whatever you name it, so I called it Hand Over Lunch on that export that you just saw. I'll show you those images. So they were in there, I do believe. In Hand Over Lunch, and there they are. When you export, whatever you call it is what it calls the image that it creates, plus a number. So I, deviously, export them and call it slide. And that way, when I get it in here, each one says slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4, and I can set to work. Now, the other thing that I did, in addition to that, was bring in, somewhere down here, we've got the audio. There's the audio. So that was just recorded. Actually, that was recorded on an iPhone. There was a beautiful digital recorder there, wasn't there, Mike? Yes. There was. It was fantastic. And the card was full. Don't ask. Won't happen again. Got a bigger card. But that's the audio, and it was just recorded on a phone. And the quality was pretty good considering. The phone was actually slightly behind Mike to his left. So he wasn't even talking into it, and the audio was manageable. Not perfect, but manageable. Wouldn't have been any better with a digital recorder in front of him, to be honest, because of the layout of the room. Which is why we bought some things in those boxes, but more on that later. I also, you'll notice here, which is an interesting point to think about when you're doing this, you'll see there are extra slides. January, February, March. Why have you done that? Well, when Mike was delivering that talk, these images up here were, this was October, this was November, this one was January, this one was February. But we didn't segment it because we wanted the focus to be on Mike as he's talking. If I'd have put in slides to separate into months, their eyes would have been on the screen watching something move. You can't stop watching something move. And at that point, I think they would have potentially lost the thread of what Mike was talking about. But when I watched it back as a video, I thought that's not going to work. On a video is so greedy for frames, different frames, because people are used to 60 frames a second. And they will not sit and look at something like that, which just has 2 words on it, for that long at all. So I created some extra ones. Which ones did I put in as extras? I put in all of the months as extras. And I put in I think I put the date one in. You'll notice that says Brexit. Don't ask. Don't ask. It wasn't a celebration of Brexit, I can assure you. There was a party and it had been planned. It was our end of year meal. And it had been planned for the 29th of March, at which point the 29th of March got hijacked, but nothing happened anyway, so it's fine. Our end of year meal was the highlight of the day, I can assure you. So that's what I did with it. And then down on the timeline, All I did was put the audio right across the timeline. You'll notice the audio goes all the way across to the 33-minute mark, but the visuals don't. Look, you know, this one's here. These are here. Yep, but there, nothing. That's because that point in the presentation, there's a natural break. There was a natural break going from here, where we just presented them with their gifts. And then we finished that bit. Then there was another bit, and then there was another bit. So we figured that this bit was standalone. It could live on its own. Now, that means when I come to export it, I need to export only part of it. So I need to make a selection, which is simple enough. I would move that back. I'm using the comma key to move that back, so I'm at the last frame. Then I use Command Option and comma. No, I don't. I'm lying to myself. What do I use? Oh, that's right. I use Command Option, comma, Shift. And what that does is it walks you back through each transition. And if I keep going, it'll take me to the other end. And then I've got the whole bit of video. And then I would export it. Now, at that point, when you hit Share and say Local File, it will ask you if you want just the current selection. Now, that is relatively new to Camtasia. Camtasia did not have that. And that was one of my main gripes with it. When I processed recordings from MacBites learning events, I would have two bits. I'd have the bit that was the main training section, and then I'd have the Q&A. And there was no way I could export that from here in two chunks. So I wrote and told them. Luckily, they added that feature. But before we got to that stage, what on earth is going on down here? So let's zoom into this and have a look. All I did, literally, was drag the slides on here. And then I got them keyed up to the audio. So this was the introduction, then that, and then we start going into the year. So there's the April slide, going into the April events, and May, and going into the May events, and you get the idea. Each transition is literally just a fade. So I put the transitions on en masse. In fact, if we go back to there, I don't think I would want a fade at the beginning, so I'll get rid of that one. Probably don't want one at the end either. But nope, there isn't one at the end. I got rid of the one at the end, right? So all I did was drag, drop, listen through, and then when I knew it needed to change slide, drag and drop another one on. Drag and drop, slide them around, get them into the right place, and then put the transitions on. Could not be easier. Now, there was one bit that needed a highlight. That was the only bit, which was this bit here when they went on a walk. They went on a historic walk of Manchester. Or a walk of historic Manchester, depending on how you look at it. It was the anniversary of Peterloo, and there was a film out about it as well. Where the Battle of Peterloo was, now stands the Radisson Blu, which that isn't the Radisson Blu, but it's very close to there. So they did this walk, this history walk, and it got in the magazine. But I wanted to put, so that's the magazine slide, and if you look at this little bit here, underneath Historic Manchester, I needed to highlight a part of it, which was, especially as he's a Geordie, because he's not a Geordie. He's from Middlesbrough, isn't it? And they're not Geordies. Smoggy. All of this is completely, I have no idea what's going on, but not a Geordie. So I wanted to highlight that because Mike was making a point about it. And that was all it needed. So when I said to you, you can make video from Keynote, but I said, I followed that up very cryptically with, I don't do it that way. This is why I don't do it that way. To try and get that audio and the slides matched up in Keynote, it can't be done. I don't care how long you've got, it can't be done. You move one slide and the whole lot go. So it can't be done. It also doesn't allow you to edit the audio in any meaningful kind of way either. So you've got far more flexibility if you come in here and do it this way. You'll also notice in here there was one slide and I said to Mike, that doesn't need a transition on it. It just needs to cut from one to the other. And it was because he was making a joke at this point. You can even tell from this, he got a laugh out of it because that bit there is where they were laughing. So he literally put that up. And it was because he was trying not to win because the trophy was so big. and I wanted it to cut straight to the brasso. I didn't want to fade one into the other. So that's why that one doesn't have a transition on. But again, it gives you that kind of flexibility. It's not burnt into the Keynote file. I take it out and bring it in here, and then basically you can edit it in post. You are editing it as you go. It gives you complete flexibility. Would we have delivered it as a video? No, because you can never judge how long you're going to have to wait when people make a comment. In fact, we actually had a slide in here, didn't we, Mike? The Australian one, which was this one. Let me find it for you here. It's number 18. There it is. It's that one. And they'd gone on a trip to Australia. I think it was nearly a month they were there. And there's a standard joke amongst all of us that there's one person of the group and he's in every photograph. And the thing was, he wasn't in that one. And as Mike was saying whatever he was saying about that one, that they were having a great time in Australia, somebody in the audience piped up and said, "Is that Peter in the middle?" Which got a great laugh. You can see the laugh here on the timeline. But if we'd cut that into a video, it would have sent everything off. I'd have needed to pause it. So it was better delivered as Keynote, but afterwards it needed to be a video. And that's why I am in here doing it this way, because it's far, 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 far more flexible. So I wanted to show you that because I mentioned it, but I didn't explain why, and I didn't show you how. The reason I take them out as TIFFs is so I get the best quality as well. But other than that, it's incredibly simple. It couldn't actually be easier. Now, I know I'm in Camtasia, and that's my file, my editor of preference. But ScreenFlow for work like this is very good. In fact, it's exceptional. Because if I wanted that transition not to be at that point, if I wanted it to be back here, I would actually have to move that back. You see the problem I'm having? I would probably, yep, there you go. I'd have to move that back and then grab the other end and drag that. Not good. But in ScreenFlow, I can hover over the middle, and as I drag to the left, I wouldn't get a gap. The transition would move to the left, and if I drag to the right, it will move to the right. It's known as a rolling edit. And I wish Camtasia had it, but it doesn't. So that's just an aside. If you're using ScreenFlow, don't feel you're missing out. Actually, you have life a whole lot easier. So I wanted to show you that. Let me show you the finished result then. Now, last week I mentioned what I then do. So I would go to share, I would go to local file. I can probably actually do this because I don't think it'll kill it. I don't think it'll kill it, but I probably don't want it in there. Let's put it in the root of local. That'll do. I'll put it in the root of local. Now, it's a MOV, so it's going to be pretty big, but it's not moving video. It's just slides. So yes, it'll be big, but it won't be huge, and it shouldn't take that long. Now, it will take longer right this second because I'm recording with Camtasia, which it might not like. I'm also broadcasting to you. I've got audio running. I've got all sorts, and the fans are blaring on this machine. But you can still see that video is about 12 minutes, and that's not a bad speed. It's going out at full HD quality as well. So I'll leave it strutting its stuff. When it's strutted its stuff, we'll have a look and see how big that was. But you know what the next step was from that, from last week. And this is how I process the video. I don't export from Camtasia and try and get the quality right. No, I go into Handbrake for that. And that hopefully is also opened on another screen. So in Handbrake, you can have presets. And that's what I use. I either use one of my custom presets or I use one of these web presets. And I'd probably go for something like, you would not need to go for 60 frames a second. It's ridiculous. But I do go for 60 frames a second if I'm putting it on YouTube, because you get a badge that says this video is 60 frames a second. And despite the fact it's only screencast video that I do, or it's slides, people moan if the badge isn't there. You should have exported it at better quality. It won't make a blind bit of difference, dear, but they're convinced it will. So I do. It doesn't actually even make the file size any bigger, because it's just static images. Obviously, it would make a difference if it was video, but none of what we played on Sunday was video, was it, Mike? No, none of it was video. It was all static images. Right, it's at 30%, so it's not going to take that long, but I won't waste any more time on that. I will get over to Keynote, which I had to come out of, and I will get back into it because we've got more slide magic. Right, next thing. This was a question. Last week, I was moaning about DropBox, and I put that slide up, and I moved from that slide to that slide. And what I was doing with that was basically highlighting the message in red at the top. So like that, you can see it and it's red, but I wanted to focus on it. And that was how I did it. And I got a question. How did you do that? So let's have a look how I did that. There's actually more than one way of doing that. I've done it again. I actually need to come out of Keynote because I need to show you Keynote. So let's get Keynote on here. Right, so they're the two slides that we're looking at. That was the first one, that was the second one. You will see from here how I did it. There's only one item that's on the second slide that's not on that slide. And that's because I've got this view showing, which is that one there, which is show or hide the object list. I always have the object list showing. I can manipulate these things with just shortcuts, but sometimes I want to drill down into a group and it's easier to have that object list turned on. So basically there's a shape on top of it is how I've done it, but there are two ways to do it. So I will show you way one, which is option one, duplicate and fade. Right, I have a screenshot on that slide. That's all that's on the slide. There is nothing else on that slide. And I want to focus people's attention on that bit there. And I would like to do it easily. Let's assume you are completely skillless. It's still not difficult. The easiest way to do it if you are completely skillless is to just duplicate it. So that now I've got two of them. Right, at the point I've got two of them, I need to crop the top one. So I have the crop tool available from the toolbar because I use it all the time. So hit the crop and crop down to just the red bit. Doesn't matter if there's a bit of background, but you are cropping down to just the bit that you want at 100% opacity. So something like that. Now at this point, you need to zoom out because you need to see the bottom. You need to grab this handle at the bottom and take that up to there. And that's perfect. So you can see that I've got the handles at the bottom here. I'm just going to click done. At this point, I've still got two objects, but you might just be able to see from the object list that one's much smaller than the other now. It's this bit here. Okay, so if I take that out, you can see it's just that bit on its own. Obviously, it needs to be bang on where the other one is or it won't work great. Okay, but leave that where it is. You only need to do one more thing at that point, which is go to the style and take the opacity of the background down. So making sure that you've got the background elements selected, you just take the opacity down as much as you want it to go. That is option one. That's fairly easy. Of the two, that one's probably the easier. It's not the way that I do it. Right, the reason that I do it a different way will become clear as I show you the way that I do it, which is this way. That looks weird, doesn't it? Don't worry about it. Right, we still have what we had before. So I'm going to select these two and lose them. We've got one screenshot in the background. Now, I've actually deleted those things, but I'm going to put them back in. What I'll do is I'll duplicate that slide and I will delete them off the second one just to show you completely. But the reason that I left that there was it was an idea that I had last week. I thought that's a good idea to demonstrate that. And then somebody actually wrote in with the question. So this is my starting point again. Right, this way is completely different. This way I choose a shape and I put the first shape where I want full opacity. And it doesn't matter what colour it is. Don't give the colour a second thought. So that's the first one. The next thing I do is put another one in. And for speed, I type that in. 1280, 720, 0, 0, and that'll put it in the right place. Now at this point, you could do with making one or other a different colour, so you can see it. So I need to bring that one to the front. Now, you might be thinking this is looking terrible. Well, it's a mask, and at the moment, it's not masking anything. But we know that that bit, if the gold rectangle had that blue bit removed, it would mask the rest of the image. So that's what we need to do. And it's really simple. Just select the two and go to Arrange, and you have your Boolean options at the bottom. I would let you guess, but you're probably ahead of me. If you unite them, you create one shape. The intersect gives you the difference. You need to subtract. You need to subtract the blue from the white, from the orange. Well, sort of gold. You get the idea. At that point, I actually wanted the mask to be white. Well, that's really simple. Go back, make it white, and then change the opacity of the mask. Now, bear in mind what I'm doing there. I'm changing the opacity of the mask, not the screenshot. So you might say to yourself, that's a little bit more work. I'd have to remember how. Why bother? Well, this is the reason why. I wanted it white. That's fairly straightforward. But what if I wanted it a totally different colour? Not black, obviously, that's not a good look. It's redacted all right, but it's not a good look. But what if I took the opacity of that down? Oh, I quite like that. So by using a mask, I leave myself the potential to have it any kind of colour I want. So if I wanted it red, any kind of colour, and just take the opacity down. I think, to be honest, I'd probably use the black and take it down to kind of a grey. But by using a mask, I leave myself that opportunity, whereas if I take the first one, I don't do that. Is there a way around that? Is there a way I could make that look darker rather than just fading it? Well, one option, that slides on a master that's just called blank white, which most of my slides are, to be honest. Unless it's blank black. What would it look like if it was blank black? I'll be honest with you, I have no idea because I've not tried it. Yeah, that's not bad. So you could kind of do it, but not quite. You'd probably, to do that, have to bring the opacity of that up, and you would be able to replicate it somewhat. I just find it easier to go the other way because I'm making the mask a different colour. But if you look at the two thumbnails, not that different. Not that different. So two ways to do the same thing, basically. But for the person who asked the question, hope that explains it and why. I do the mask business. Just thinking about that. Yeah, it would get more complicated with this one if I wanted to unmask two areas. That would be the other issue that I would have, which is why I take the time. So let's say with that one, I want to unmask that square there. How do I do that? Well, I need to duplicate the background. I need to set the opacity all the way back up. I need to crop it. So I'm cropping down to the bit that I want unmasked. Then I need to zoom out so I can see the bottom, and I need to take that bit up. That'll do. And then I'm done with that. So it's not bad. Let's take that back to full screen. It doesn't take forever. But I might want 2 or 3 or 4 bits like that. And the problem with that is I'm then juggling multiple items. I've got 3 elements on that slide now. And if one of them moves, it isn't going to look right. With my masked version, dead simple. Add another shape, put it over what you want to mask. Get the right size and shape in the right position. Select the shape and the mask. So the background is my shape. The top is the rectangle I've just added. Go to the Arrange and Subtract. And you now have a shape with multiple holes in it. So I only have 2 elements on the slide, not 3 like I have there. And I would always only have 2 elements on the slide, no matter how many holes I wanted to punch through it. So if I wanted to bring this bit in over there, very, very simple. Not exclude. You do not want to exclude. You want to subtract. Very simple. But of course, to do that here, you've got to pick the background, you've got to duplicate it, you've got to change the opacity, you've got to crop it down. It just takes a whole lot longer. And every time you do it, you get another item and another item and another item. And helpfully not, they're all called the same. So apart from the little thumbnail, trying to find them is difficult. So, slide magic, that was. Right, I better save that now, seeing as though I'm in the middle of using it as a presentation. Right, to show you, that has finished. Let's reveal it in the Finder. See how big it is. There it is. It is 4.42 gig. It wouldn't take long to process that out. So I am going to minimize that. And I would put it in there, which is just what we did last week. And then choose one of these presets and then process it out. And it's as simple as that. When we had done that, because, you know, here's one that we did earlier. So let's get one of those up and let's go to it. It does help if you spell it right, woman. We have the news section. There we go. And there it is. And that's the video. Now with that, there's audio. So if you want to go and have a look at it, you can. But that's got Mike's audio on it and it's got all of the slides. So there we go. Back to that Bowles trophy. No escaping that Bowles trophy. There you go. So that's what we did with it. And that was why we did it. Can't say fairer than that, can you? Now, let's get back to our presentation. If you've got any questions about this, do type them in. Do type them in. Right. Where's my presentation gone? Crying out loud, Keynote, where have you disappeared to? Oh, we weren't on there. That wasn't where we were. We definitely weren't on there. We were there. No, we weren't. I'm lying. I was right. We were there. Okay, we were on that slide. Right, but now, ooh, can you tell I'm excited? Now, you know we love an unboxing here, and you'll notice with the time, we're starting the unboxing somewhat early. If you missed the very beginning, this is why we're starting the unboxing early. There's lots to unbox. That was the start of today, and I wanted to open my toys. Some of these toys have been here 3 days now, but I wanted to share it with you guys. So they're still unwrapped. Still wrapped, rather. Oh, it's been agonising. By the end of today, yes, I know it's Good Friday. They did brilliantly getting that lot here. That was the full quota. So I will need to get my video sorted out for Mike. Oh, crying out loud. I've had that on charge and it's not charging. But never mind, it's 49%, so I'm sure Mike will be able to get something with it. And hopefully you'll be able to see my screen as we go into the unboxing. So let's head off into the unboxings. Ooh, we like unboxings. Right, let's get a camera up so you can see what's going on. Let's do that for a start. Hello! Right, let's move the iPad. That's the chat on the iPad. So I'll put that on one side and Mike can get me the first one. You bring them in from next door.
In any particular order?
Bring the one in the bag. The one in the bag. Excitement was one was in a bag. Now, I want guesses. I showed such restraint, Carl. It was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Guess what it is. Yeah.
I know what that one is. That's what I'm saying. I know what that one is. Right, there's yours. Let's get that one in there. So here's the first one. Excited much? You're in the way. You need to be behind there.
Oh.
Unless I move that one in a bit. We could move that one in a bit, but you're still in the way. You need to move it slightly. There we go. That'll do. Right, let me move the keyboard.
Even I don't know what.
No, that was a good point, wasn't it? Even Mike does not know what this is. But, should we spill the beans on what we're doing?
Yes.
Right, we've got some upgrades to do. I love the way they're shipping these in bags. We're doing some upgrades here at MacBites headquarters. I know we always seem to be upgrading, but this is an audio upgrade. So let's try and get in here. Wouldn't it be embarrassing if what's in here is not what I anticipate to be in here? That one. What? Oh! Silly me, I'm on the wrong screen. This isn't good. Right, okay, you need to see that. Let me get that. Oh, I need to manually scale it. Oh, honestly. It was recording. All right, let me get this on here. You need to see this, don't you? It's a good job you're on the ball, isn't it, Mike? Somebody should have said something.
I did.
You did. Nobody else did. So wondering why you're looking at a screen. Okay. Right, back as we were. Bag. Shipping it in bags. It's a box. There's a box in it, but it's in a bag.
Do you actually need me recording with this?
Oh, yes, just in case.
Oh, right.
Just in case. Will you keep it out of the way of the other one? Crying out loud, man. Let's tip that one down a bit so you can see it. Right. Ooh. Oh, crying out loud, we're going to be here all night. Inside that, there's another one. I passed the parcel. Right, I'll get out the heavy industrial equipment to get it. Oh. I should give you a clue. We like Niwa, or Nua, however they pronounce it. We like them. Right, let's get in here. It'll be obvious what they are, but they're somewhat gesture-ish in look, I hope. Unless they've sent the wrong ones. Right, so let's get that open. Ooh. And another box inside. Any guesses yet, Mike?
No. Something musical.
Well, it's audio, isn't it? Nee would do audio equipment. So, yes. Is there any clue on the box? There is on the back. Let me have a look. Oh, it does tell you on the back. So I'm not going to ruin it. I'm going to open it up. I'm not going to show you the back. Right. We have... It's a cable. Oh, no, Mike. No. When I go shopping, Mike, it's not one cable. No. We have the green cable and the red cable. We also have the purple cable and the orange cable. And we have the yellow cable and the green cable. Why are the cables colour-coded, Mike? No?
No.
Oh, poor Mike. They are colour-coded for a reason that we need to know who's got what microphone. So, these are XLR cables, XLR audio cables. They will be useless without other equipment, which handily we have other boxes. So why don't you bring in some of the other boxes, Mike?
Because I'm holding his iPhone.
Right, there you go. I'm holding the iPhone now.
What you want?
Oh, bring them all in and put them on the floor. They know there's lots of boxes. Ah, you see, you were thinking lighting again, weren't you? Yeah, well, we've got the lighting sort of sorted out, haven't we? I can show you the lighting, can't I? That's our little light that we put in. We've got the bigger light and we've got the little light as well. So it looks like the Saint. Who remembers the Saint?
I do.
Yeah, I do. I'm that old. Yeah, so we've got that light, and I think that's doing okay. I think he's doing okay. We do have the iPhone meandering around, but we've finally managed to make sure that we can broadcast the audio, the video, and it not go haywire.
I'm going to have something to eat.
When are we going to have something to eat? When you've carried all that stuff in,
Right.
Mike.
There we go.
Right, okay. Let's have that one off the top, which should be a nice light one. Now, it may or may not be what complements those cables. I think it is, but you never know. Let's get the heavy industrial equipment out again, despite the fact I've got nails that I can get in with. Don't want a nail calamity, do we? Right. And before anybody asks, no, those nails aren't fake. They're mine. You can't see me in a nail parlour, surely. Never been in a nail parlour in my life. All natural. Right, let's get in here. All my money goes to Amazon, as you can see. Right. It is the right one. This is the right one. Oh. You know what that means, don't you? Hey, it's got to be done. Excellent. Right, there we go. Well, they could have been packed better, couldn't they? Right.
Are they foam domes?
These are foam domes. You'll notice the colours match the cables.
Can I have the red one?
You want the red one? There's always one,
Carl
isn't there?
will understand.
Yeah, Carl will understand. Fair enough. Now, which saint? Was it Ian Ogilvy or Roger Moore? We met Roger Moore once, didn't we?
Did we?
Yeah, I met him at Old Trafford.
Oh yeah, we did.
UNICEF whisked him past us at an alarming rate.
That's
Very nice gentleman. Right, these shouldn't be packed like this because they need to go on microphones and they're all squished and squashed to the point even my super nails are struggling to undo them. But I will get in the end. I absolutely will. Well, if I touch the scissors, I'm going to potentially cause a calamity with them. Not that they're going back in there, so let's get the industrial scissors back out again. And very carefully plot my way in here. Alright, I'm in. Don't slice the end off one. Right. There we go. Yes, they could definitely have been better packed. I do hope they stretch a bit. Yeah. Well, they're not going to go in a Blue Yeti, put it like that, but I think they hopefully they'll go where they're intended to go. So the grey one, no, orange one and the purple, pink. I mean, seriously. What were they thinking? Let's put that one with the grey one. Mike wants... Oh, I think there's two. There's two shades of red.
There is.
There's a dark red and there's a light red. Got a preference, Mike?
The light red.
He likes the light red. Okay. The green's very light. I anticipated the green being darker.
Carl wants the red one too. Carl, you can have the dark red.
That green one's got a bit of yellow on it. That might need to be dealt with. We've got the black one. Got a drawer full of black ones. Got the yellow one. And the blue one. So the idea is that the foam domes match the cables. So when the cables are in the microphones, you know where you're at. That's the plan. So that's the first set. Let's get that lot out of the way.
Wants to know if we need that many.
Well, Simon, funny you should ask that. Hold that thought. Right. Also, in the box with the foam dome, two more toys. You'll like this one, Mike. You'll like that one in particular. You know that 32 gig card that was full? We've now got a 128 gig card dedicated for audio.
That should do us for a while.
Which should do us for a while. So yes, we've got that. That one was quite cheap as well. When I'm buying cards, I do like to go for the smaller ones with an adapter. And that way they'll work on multiple devices. Because some of, like your Surface, you actually need to take that bit out. But the device in question will only take 128 gig, or I would have bought a bigger one. So that was there as well. That's for audio equipment. And then there's that. Right, you're all going to have to hazard a guess as to what that is. Mike's having a look here. He's very interested. You look like the dog. Trunky.
No idea.
You don't know. You don't know what that is.
Mouse.
Looks like a mouse. There you go. Well, there's zips on it. There's zips on it. So
It's a purse.
plenty left over for nefarious purposes. Oh. So your best guess is it's a mouse.
It's probably not.
No, it's not a mouse. You should know by the shape of it, Mike.
It's a zippy thing.
It's a zippy
A
thing.
glasses case.
It's a glasses case. What, for a pygmy?
Yeah.
It's a glasses case for a pygmy. Look at the size of that. I'm going to ask a very leading question here, which is, Mike, what have you got that's that size? And that shape. Because it kinks in at the middle. Oh! Oh, yes. So that is a case for a Kensington flicker, presentation flicker. Because we've got ours squashed into a thing, haven't we?
Yeah.
So you can put your little Billy Do things in here as you're presenting. And it's nice and velvet inside for it. It's also indestructible, I think. And I think that goes on there, so you can carry it around with you and look like
Put it on your belt.
yes, you can look like a mountaineer while you're presenting. So having been out with our flicker and it constantly disappearing, I thought that's what's needed. So that's for our Kensington flicker. All right, that just happened to be in the same box. So you should be seeing a thread here. Graham was warm. Earbud case. You probably would get your earbuds in there. Yeah. The earbuds, of course, are in the little rubber casey thing that we got the week it came out. So that's like a very thin silicone-y thing. That's a transparent one. And it does charge in it. You can just see the dot on the front. The one mic's only charged once. Mine's charged every day. I think somebody's... Yeah, you see, you do more talking on normal headphones, and I use these with ear defenders on when you're training. So mine needed more of that. So, like I say, these fall into two categories, I would say. One is stuff for audio, and the other is stuff for presenting. So, at this point, I'm clueless now as to what's in what box.
Me too.
So I'll just reach round and I'll just get...
At least you know what we bought.
I do know what we bought, but this is very exciting for Mike. It's like Christmas. Okay. This one's... No, it's not an Easter egg. This one's just perfunctory. But I want you to guess why I need one this big. All right, so let's get that out. Somebody should shout out what that is.
I know what it is.
I don't think that's difficult.
What that one is, 'cause you told me.
This one?
The rest, yeah.
Ah, but which one?
I know idea.
It's clearly a cable. Right? It's clearly a cable. But it's a long cable. There's a lot of cable there. I'll tell you, it's 10 metres long. I'll also tell you, let's open the bag. It is a HDMI cable. Why would I, with my lack of TV interest, want a 10-metre HDMI cable?
I don't know. Why would you?
Answers on a postcard. You should know why I do.
Well, you could tell them.
I could tell them. I could tell them.
Oh, so they're viewers, not this.
They're viewers. They're viewers, and they're thinking 10 metres, woman. That's almighty. Yes, Carl, it is. It's HDMI cable. It's fairly thick. It's fairly heavy. Obviously, at 10 metres, it's going to have to be pretty decent quality to not lose signal. The rationale for this is it matches one of the other items. So hold that thought and let me know while we find its twin, which could be in that one. On the other hand, maybe it's not. Oh, this is exciting. Let's open that one. I'm hoping it's in that one. Oh, it's double wrapped. Double wrapped. There we go. Can you see the restraint this took? The complete restraint not to open it. Right, there we go. Let's get in here. Got to be careful I don't slice through anything, obviously. All right, let's get that one open. And there we go. Right, what's that one? It's sort of a twin. Slightly different twin, but a sort of a twin. It goes with it, so let's open it. That's not a zippy bag. That's just an open it bag, so let's get into it. There is a reason that we've got two of these. There we go. Let's show you the end. Let's give it away by showing you the end. There you go. Old school. Old school, eh? That's the one I use, though. Do you?
Yeah. Yeah,
it's the one I use. Right. Rationale for that is it's also 10 metres. It is, there you go. It is a male-to-male VGA cable. Now, you would imagine wherever the business end of this is, you would need the screen end of whatever it is to be closer to you than 10 metres. But there is method in our madness. When we did this presentation at the weekend, we had arranged, it was at a local venue, hotel locally, and they were very good, weren't they? They were absolutely fantastic. They'd got a projector out for us, they'd got a trolley out for us, and a screen out for us. We had, of course, taken our own projector, our own everything, screen, you name it. But when we came to the logistics of actually delivering it, we couldn't really move it from where it was so people could see the screen. And I said to Mike, the problem with this is you can't see the presenter's notes because the cable that we had between the computer and the projector was about a metre. So I said to Mike, the only way around that in the future, where we can put this wherever we need it to be, is to get a much longer cable. And some projectors use VGA. That's actually the one I tend to use by choice. But our projector also supports HDMI. And the HDMI one would enable you to hook the whole thing up to an Apple TV. So I said to Mike on Monday, that was fine because you knew your stuff. You know, he knew what he was saying. He didn't actually need to see the words on the slides. But in the future, that could happen. So let's gear up, I said. So that's what we did. So they're not actually to deploy at the moment. They are to try at the moment. And then they will go in our presentations box along with that. So as I said, there's two themes here to what we've bought. That's all to do with presentations, that end. And all of that was to do with audio recording over at that end. But we're not finished yet. Right, let's have that one. I'm getting confused now as to what's what. Oh, I'm excited now because I can't remember what's in it. Oh, I do know what's in that one. Let me think. There's no point, is there really? I just can't remember. No, so just open them. Just open them. Right, laptop to TV. It's laptop to projector for presentations when we're out. I have done presenting before, and I'm sure you have, but in an office situation. But now we've kind of moved in. We're being invited around to publicly speak about things. So the equipment that we've got, which has been for standard training, you're in a more controlled environment. So you tend to have a computer at the front of a classroom, and you don't need to worry about it. The projector's probably on the ceiling. That was another problem we found. It was a case of that projector needs to tilt up slightly. Let's use that salt and pepper pot to prop it up. I did have a leg on the front, but it still needed a little bit more. So it's a case of buying the equipment that we need so we don't have to think about it. Now this one was on special offer, which was just as well. Mike will go white when he sees it because he knows the price. But luckily it was on special offer. He's giving me the evil again. We need Mike Cam. All right, let's have... Oh, hang on. There's something on the front. Or is it just a bag? I don't know if there's anything else in here. That could just be... Oh, no, there is. There's something at that end. What's that? There's a box. Oh, that's right. Right, let's put that back in there. Oh, I've got more of these. I've got to do my bubble wrap. Oh, I've been conned. There's only one. Get ready. Well, that was a bit of a damp squib, wasn't it? Never mind. I do like my bubble wrap. Yeah, this was a Bluetooth thing that I will be showing you at a future date. It's a transmitter and receiver. And again, it was on offer. I think it was reduced from £20 to £7. So I thought I shall have one of those. You can never have much kit, full stop. Right, so that's the one to look at in the future. But this one, this box here, is going with the audio equipment. It is the audio equipment bit. Right, it is an upgrade to something that we have, but this is the bigger, better one. There you go, Mike. Guess what came on offer? It's a handy recorder from Zoom, which we talked about. Graham's going to like this one. There you go. It is. Let's get it so we can see it. We've got a bit of glare on that, haven't we? Let me lose the box and tilt it up. We have the H4 Zoom. That is the H6. It doubles the inputs to 4. Obviously, at MacBites headquarters, there's Mike, there's me, and there's MacBites Siri, and there's Lady Siri. So that enables you to do 4 XLR recordings on the road. Now, it says 6-track portable recorder. It does have 6 tracks in it. I think the other 2 are stereo related. As I say, it was on offer, and it was like just what we needed at just the right time. This one comes with 2 recording heads. So there's the one that's on it, which is this one at the top, which is very similar. I don't know where I've put my digital recorder. I haven't even got it going as a backup. Where did I put my digital recorder? Oh, no idea. My digital recorder's over here. Give me 1 second. There's my digital recorder, the one we're using right now. Well, not right this second, obviously. Let's open that up. So this is the baby brother of it. That's the H4. So on the top of it, you have 2 microphones that cross over each other. They twizzle round. So at the moment, that's giving you a pickup range of 90 degrees. But these actually turn round. So you might see that actually turning round. and that one turning round. And now it's giving you a pickup range of 120 degrees. So I tend to use it at 90, but that's the top, that's the default on this new one, which is the one with the two microphones at the top there. But there is also this one down here, which is a completely different beast. Has different inputs, etc. The most important thing on here for us is going to be, let's see if there's a picture of it. Is there a picture of it? Yeah, sort of there. Let's see if we can get that picked up. It's that picture there where it says video. And it looks like a spider. Basically, what that is, that's shocking, isn't it? I need more light there. Let me see if I can get more light off this. So you can see it. That help?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's much better. Right, you can see that says video. And basically at this point, you've got the recorder on the top of the camera with two XLRs coming out of both sides. So there's 4 microphones somewhere doing the audio pickup on that. And that's the bit that we need it for. So jealous of the Zoom. Well, we'll let you know. We haven't even got it out of the box yet. See this? Just how restrained have I been to share the unboxings with you? We haven't even got that out of the box yet. So we can open that here. You can live it vicariously, Simon. Let's get that. Oh, that's handy. You'll see that's that. We've got a little sticker there that says the SD card's not included. That's very helpful of them, isn't it? But that's okay. It takes 128, and that's why we've bought 128. Okay, so let's open that and slide it out. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Look at that. Paper manuals and everything. Paper manuals. I remember those days. And a case, which is very nice. There it is. So let's put that over there with the audio. And let's try and open it. There we go. There is everything we are apparently going to need. So we have a Zoom foam dome. They've got batteries in there. Very good of them. They've got that, which is the USB charging and transfer cable. And then you are left with the main recorder at the back and the 2 heads, which are all neatly wrapped up and clipped in. They're actually the right shape and they clip in. So let's have a quick look at that. There we go. So that's the... oh, actually, they've not put either on, have they? Both the heads are separate. So that will clip on. You'll take that plastic off. And that's the connector underneath, and that will clip on. So that one goes there. And that one is the cross microphones. It's a very decent case. It's got decent hinges on the back. The clips on the front seem fairly sturdy. The handle's integrated, so that's not going to fall off, hopefully. So, yeah, the case isn't at all bad. When you look at the cases for stuff, they can be 60, 80 quid for a case. It's ridiculous. So these turn round like the other one. So just turning that round there. Turning it back. And again, it's got the connector underneath that will connect to the head of the recorder. Now, this one includes audio out and audio in, I believe. Well, definitely audio out or in. Not sure which one that... Oh, hang on, let's have a look. Line in. So it will take a line in at the back as well. And you've got your volume on the front. So physical knobs. Wow, physical knobs. Right, so that's that bit there. I have to be careful packing this little away now, aren't I? And then there is the main bit. That's actually quite light. That's lighter than I would have expected, but the head's not on it. So let's get that out of there. And there it is. There we go. So there's no power on that to turn it on yet. We'll work it out in the week how it works. But the crux of the matter is card in here, 2 XLRs there, 2 XLRs there. That's the charger and transfer. And what else have we got here? Battery backup underneath. There is a mount for a tripod, which, bear with me, looks like that. Now you might be thinking, why? What on earth is that? That actually screws onto there. So you actually screw that bit in, and it looks like that, which does look rather weird, doesn't it? That looks rather weird. But all will make sense. Hang on. Might need to move that a bit so you can see it. Let's bring it across. You're going to get seasick because I'm moving things. I am moving things. I'm moving it so you can see this tripod here. Right, that tripod. That is just a standard microphone thing. You would slot a microphone into it. Obviously, this, not a standard microphone. But if you put that on it, it will sit in it nicely. So let's lift that up a bit so we can see the top of it. Can you now see the top of it? You can! Fantastic. And what I do there is slot that in, tilted upwards. And obviously when the microphone is on this bit here, let me get that a bit higher so you can see it. Can you see that there? Let me get it a bit higher still. You're on my microphone. I'll have to move my microphone to get it even higher. There we go. Now you can see it. So I tilt it like that. So when the microphone is on this bit here, it will pick me up. That's the plan. Now, this bit here did not ship with it. Obviously, you've seen me just pick that up. It did ship with the other one. It did ship with the H4. To buy it is 20 quid. I know it's a piece of plastic with a knob on the end. But it's 20 quid to buy that. We nearly lost it, didn't we? We took it out somewhere and we nearly lost it. And I said, I hope you've not lost that, because it'll cost a fortune to replace, and I wasn't wrong. It's a very thin, lightweight piece of plastic, but, you know, it's a piece of plastic. What can I say? There you go. Right, so that was that bit. Let's have a look back in the case down here. And let's try and get it packed up again. So I haven't tried it yet. We'll be trying it this week with some work we've got planned. Okay, so Simon's now challenging me. A sign of a good case is when you can get everything back in it. Right, let's try doing that then. It does seat very nicely. There are plastic bits here underneath. So let's take these out so you can see them. Move that camera down. Like reinforced down here. And the shape absolutely matches what you're slotting into it, including the little knobs at the side. So although that would be wrapped up, if I put it in, you can see it absolutely fits it perfectly. So this is, looks like paper, but it's not. And on the inside, it's kind of plasticky as well. So like waterproof on the inside. So very thin, but does feel kind of waterproofy. So I'll try and get that back in. Let's see if we can get everything back in the case for more testing tomorrow. Although, having said that, we need to discuss things to eat tomorrow, don't we? Right, which way round did that go? It went in that way, didn't it?
We need to discuss things to eat today.
We do need to discuss things to eat tonight.
Because Graham's probably had his bakewell time.
Because I've spent the entire day eating fish, salmon and what's tuna. When I fancied a full English, don't ask, it's Good Friday. Right. Why would I fancy... That's the thing, you see, when you can't have it, you fancy it, don't you? That did go in perfectly, so it's me trying to get it in at the wrong angle, I think. Which is the flat side? Oh, Simon, am I letting everybody down here? No, you will go back in, you will, you know you will. Just a matter of not forcing it. Is that right? Which bit is it? Is it that way? Need to see where the bottom bit is. There, I think. Right, that's got it, I think. There we go. Right, where's the other bit? There's the other bit. Exactly the same as the first one. Let's get that in. Put that in there. Straight back in there. That one's easier, because that one's got no bits hanging off. Right, what else was in here? We had that, and we had the foam dome. And the foam dome had the batteries hidden in it. So let's pop that back in there. Now, which way around did the foam dome go in? Is it that way? I think it was that way, with some of the batteries in there. Right, will the case shut? I don't think I've got that one right, but everything else is right. It's just that, why isn't that right? Have I got it upside down? I don't think I have, and it went in fine without that. Let me try it without and then we'll try it with again. It was absolutely fine. Right, that works, doesn't it, Mike? Right, so what's going on when I get it in here? Simon was quite right. Can it be mounted to a hot shoe? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Anything... let me have a think about that hot shoe. Yes, it can, because it can be mounted to a ball head. It's just a standard slot underneath it. I can show you some of that equipment next week if you like, because that's exactly what we'll be doing with it. Right, I've got that in correctly. So all I need to do is that, apparently. Is that right? That is so thin, it should definitely go in there. There you go, I've got it. Felt it go, I've got it. So hopefully that will tuck everything in and close. There you go, she's done it. So yes, it does. Yes, it does. And that is a very nice case. It's got zoom on the front, not the back, but it is a very nice case. So that'll save money on a case as well. It said there was a case with it, but I thought it could be this kind of thing, which came with the other one, which is, well, it was semi-functional, but I did buy that. I got this gel one to put it in because I was concerned that that was so thin it would break. Because it's like a coffin, isn't it? And then this gel one, it slides inside the gel one. It is made for it, this gel one. It's not just a random case, but it's not from Zoom. But it's just a gel thing like that. Right, so do we like that? Did we like that? Do you need the bags? They're all in the box after all. I don't think you would, no. The inside of them does feel quite waterproofy, but the box itself is so sturdy. No, I don't think you would actually. I do keep this thing in the box when I'm travelling, but like I say, it's not that sturdy. In fact, one problem we noticed with this, and I have had this about 8 years, but one thing we noticed this week, and we were using it, is that bit there, which is where you pop the power cable in. Underneath it, you can see there's a bit of plastic missing. So it could be, when you're recording it, let me move that so you can see it better. Yeah, you see the little bit of plastic missing. When you plug that into power, the bit at the bottom, if it was doing a job in terms of keeping it in spot on the right place, you could have a problem, which I pointed out to Mike, but we'd already discussed if this ever came on offer, and then it came on offer. So we did very well with that. Right, so that was that bit. But we're not finished yet. I told you we had a bumper unboxing. Right, let's take that out of the way. Do you know what it is like, Simon? It's like leaving the plastic bags on a sofa, isn't it? Right, let's get the boxes out of the way. Oh, there's something. Oh, no, it's the manuals. As I said, there was a lot of manuals in there. Acres of them. Thought it was something else, but it's not. Right, let's get that one down there. Okay, let's move that back and tilt it up a bit. So... let's get the next one. Right, which one should we try next? This little one?
Yeah.
What's the big one?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Give me that one and give me the big one. Oh, that's Mike with the iPhone again. Oh, no, I know what the big one was. Yes, I've remembered what the big one was. Put the big one on the middle. Right. There we go. Next one. Next one. Any more guesses? Right, I'm just checking the chat, make sure there's no questions I've missed. Let's get in here.
Do I know what it is?
Do you know what it is?
No.
You should know what it is. I think you did know about this one.
Box.
Well, yes, it's a cardboard box, isn't it? There's the top of the cardboard box. This was something we discussed. In fact,
No,
if this is... No, it's not a big cake. If this is the right one... Look what I've got! I've got bubble wrap! Acres and acres of bubble wrap! No! No, it's my bubble wrap! Give it me! No! There you go, there's the acres of bubble wrap I've got. I've got to do at least one. Hey! Right, the rest of that's mine, Mike. What better way to spend Good Friday night than watching me playing with bubble wrap? Right, what's in here? Ooh! Right, there's 3 things in here. All audio related, but not necessarily the same kind of audio. There's 2 cardboard boxes that I've put at the bottom there, and there is this cardboard box. So let's get the big one out of the way. Let's put this one down. I think I've just hit Mike with that. And let's look at that there. Let's take that down. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Right. We got this one and we got these 2. Right, these 2 are simple. You have seen one of these 2 before tonight. But we need to test this. So this is more of a test thing. These are not expensive. Let's get the scissors out again. But what's in one of the other boxes? We'll need one of these. So half of what we've seen won't work unless you've got this. So let's get in here and have a look at this. Yeah, it was atomic bubble wrap. It's huge. We are just big kids. We're just big kids. Right, there we go. Have a look at that. That's baby bubble wrap. That is tiny baby bubble wrap. There was one. It's a bit pathetic, isn't it, by comparison to the other one? But let's get that out. And there we go. Microphone holder. There you go. That size fits the Zoom thing. Whether it will fit specific microphones or not, it's quite tiny, but whatever. Don't think we're going to need it. What we are interested in is this bit, which is one of those tripods that you've seen. And the reason that we have gone for tiny tripods is that we need to be on the road with them. Can't say any more right now. So let's undo that and basically just pull these out. And it can be used for audio. It can be used for anything, basically. It's not the right size at the moment. Let's get that up there. Let's push that there so you can see it. There you go. This top is not the right size at the moment for the Zoom. But if you take that off, it might be. And if that isn't the right size, then you can get adapters. I'll give you a sneak peek now, but obviously I haven't set this up properly. This is my box of tricks. Let's get that up so you can see my box of tricks. This has got all sorts in it. It's all my adapters, audio adapters, camera adapters, cable ends. There's all sorts in here. There's even a ball head in there, a spare ball head. Baby ball head by the look of it. Baby ball head. And that one has got the hot shoe on it that would work with it. So basically my box of tricks here is all my audio stuff, so I can make them any size whatsoever. So I can even, there's a, that one will go on there. That one will make it so you've got a tiny one on the top. And then I would put in that one. And now it's spot on the right size. So basically, my box of tricks is my kit to make any tripod fit any item. And these things weren't expensive. They were bought as a kit of 22 items for £6. And there's all kinds of sizes and all sorts in here. Work for cameras, work for audio equipment, the lot. So that's a sneak peek of my box of tricks. I even have in here zip ends. You're wondering, aren't you? You know, you get those cases and they've got a tiny little zip head on and you can't pull them. These were 50p for 10. And I put them on everything now. Literally, I put them on everything. I bought 30 of those and I've only got those left. I've used all of the others. Highly recommend those. And these things are to keep the USB ends of my cables safe. So little plastic things for that. All sorts in my box of tricks. Absolutely all sorts in my box of tricks. Oh, let's lose that. So the other one is the twin of that, basically. So let me get that on there before I lose it. Not that I think I'll be using that size, but you never know. Obviously, this thing with the microphone does just sit on the top of that, so you just screw that on. If you're using it with that head, depending on your microphone. If you're wondering about that being a bit low, it does lift up. Oh, the other one did. Do I have to undo something? I have to twist it. The other one did. I'll work on that. Well, that definitely will go up, so you could do it like that. But you get the idea. So there's 2 of those. But of far more interest... Oh, we're really filling the desk here, aren't we? Of far more interest is this one. Anybody want to take a guess?
No.
Are even you confused?
Yeah.
Nah, you should know the make. Not Fifine. Yeah, Fifine.
No.
Right, let's open that up. Fifine. Okay, this is to do with presentations. It is also audio related, but mainly to do with presentations and when we give presentations. So that's a clue for you. Let's open that up completely. So it's that thing, said Mike. It's that thing. Yes. So when we deliver presentations, Mike did the one at the weekend, pretty much on your own, didn't you? I just chipped in every now and then. But when we do presentations, we tend to do them together. And we've got Mixer. Graham, you're convinced there's a mixer involved. I'm going to give you a point for that. When we give presentations together, the problems we've got is you go into a venue and they've got a microphone and they've only got one. We don't want to stand there and hand them over to each other. The jokes don't work if you do that. But we're going in wireless. We have wireless microphones. So we've got a double kit. So let's lift that up so you can see it. We have 2 receivers. So they're working on the same box. 2 headsets, 2 lavaliers, and a control box. So let's take one of them out. I'm not going to fiddle with these now because they're all wireless and all kinds of stuff. But that's the bit. That's the bit that you clip onto yourself. So clip on the back. I'm presuming that needs power in there somewhere. Batteries, whatever. I think. What's this set? I think they are rechargeable from memory, but we'd have to check that. But basically, that's the bit that clips to the back of your pants or skirt or whatever. And then there is the headset that clips into it. So there's 2 of those. I'm reckoning this box here is the headsets. You say posh, Graham, but basically the audience are going deaf on. We have people who are like, I can't hear you properly. So we'd like to use a microphone, but you can't use one microphone at a venue. You're going to need to use 2. So we have that.
Shall I model them?
You can model one later. When we get them set up, you can model them. So that's what we've got. So there's nothing to see on the top. It clips sort of around your neck and up the back. And there is an audio piece on that. I can't be doing with listening to myself, to be honest, when I'm presenting. But never mind, never mind. So there's 2 of those, 1 each. And there's also 2 lavaliers in case it's a sit-down do there. Now, these have mini XLRs on them. So they're tiny little XLRs. So they wouldn't directly plug into the recorder, but they do plug into this thing at the side. So let's put those on one side. I'm assuming this is the power. That feels like power. So this bit is the receiver. That's why Graham's getting a mark for mixer. Ooh, that's heavy. That is very heavy. So there's one side for one side for the other. You've got 2 of these things, power on in the middle, and at the back, so these receiver aerial things will doubtless fold up. I don't want, oh, no, there you go. They do fold up. I'm going to say I don't want to force them. I shall pull them out and turn them up. And here you can take your auxiliary out, your power's in, and then you've got your left, right out, and your left, right in.
In, out, in, out.
In, out, and shake it all about. Yes, so we need to have a good old practice with these. I'm told they're simple. Do you need clearance for the frequency? Don't believe you do, no. The distance that they said was about 22 metres, something like that. The frequencies are different on each one, but they're quite close to each other. But the reviews seemed decent, and we were in the market for trying it, so we shall be testing this out over Easter. And we will be reporting back whether it worked or not. Right, so let's fold that one up. So that was That was both audio and presenting, wasn't it, Mike?
Mm.
Did that go that way? It did, didn't it? Did that one went in that way? Oh, now I've got to rebirth it into the box. Oh, come on, you definitely went in that way. Now you're just saying you're not coming out. Right, let's put that back in there. Okay. Not quite boxed up to standard, but never mind. Right, the lavaliers are in there. Let's get the headsets in there. Right, we're not going to worry about the state of that. I'm going to give it Mike.
And I'm going to do what?
And you're going to take it out of the way.
Pack it up.
No, you don't have to pack it up. Just lose it for the moment. We've not finished yet, believe it or not. I did say mega unboxing, didn't I? Mega unboxing. We only got the one left. Well, we've got two, but one's a bit big.
Well, yeah.
I don't think we're going to be able to get that one. Well, we'll have to do that one on video, I think. The other one. Well, never mind packing it up. Give me the other box. And stand here with this before it dies on us. Oh my, this one's heavy. Right. Last one. Right, this one goes with the audio equipment rather than the presenting stuff. This one. So, where's my industrial scissors? You should, by rights, guess this one. Based on what's on the table, what's missing? You're not allowed a guess.
Why?
Because technically you know. You'll have just forgotten.
Oh, I forgot.
I thought you might.
It's my Easter egg, isn't it?
It's not your Easter egg, no. At this rate, you're not going to get an Easter egg. Behave yourself. Right. So what's missing?
The budget's being blown on this stuff.
Yes, we've blown the budget, so no, that's not going to work, Mike. We're now on baked beans for a week. Right. Any guesses? What's missing? I'll take you gently through what we've got in the audio department. We started off with cables, then we had matching foam domes, then we had tripods to put them on. So what's missing? No, Mike, you can't say. You know, but you can't say.
I've just guessed.
You've just guessed. Well, they should have just guessed as well, and they should be putting it in the chat and screaming at me. They should be. Right, let me I'll have a quick sneak peek and see if we can tell. Can you tell? Oh, you can. You can.
Yes, I was right.
You were right. Right. Yeah. Is
Yeah.
anybody else right? Camera to record the presentation. Nice one, Simon. We'd probably use the phone. We're going to be in the market for a new phone October time. So we'd probably use the phone. This time I used the phone for the audio, but now we've got the digital recorder and a backup digital recorder. We would probably use that. So, any other guesses? Oh, Carl's on the money. Carl is on the money. You can't have foam domes and tripods to put them on without a microphones. And that's what's in this box in another shiny case. Shiny case. So, there's the shiny case. There is two of these, but they're identical. So I'll give that to Mike to lose and we'll have a look at them. Otherwise, I am literally at the stage here where I can't move. So let's have a look at them. These were bought for, before you ask, before you say, well, just a minute. You do MacBites and you're talking right now, you must have a microphone. I do indeed. In fact, you hold that mic and let me show you. I've actually got two. Can you see that one there? There you go. Two microphones on an arm.
So his and hers.
I'm trying to tilt it. So you see, there you go. It's a bar that holds two. So, why do we need half a dozen more? All will be revealed soon. But at the moment...
we've got a lot to say.
We've got a lot to say, yes, there's that as well. But, for the moment, let's just open the microphones. We'll discuss what we're doing with them later. Right, let's get into here. There we go. So these were bought as we would be able to use them on the road and we wouldn't worry if we lost one. So we don't consider these to be hugely expensive. We are not talking £400 studio microphones. We are talking probably about a tenner each. And there's 3 in the case. So that was good as well, that there's a case. They are Behringer, however they pronounce it. Nice case. Nice case. We're liking the case. Fairly hefty. Handle on the front, so it's not a recessed thing. It's actually a handle. But seems fairly sturdy. Clips here. So let's take the clips down. You want to set the clips down or up? Have you got a preference for how we get in here? Up or down? I'd say down. There we go. Whoa, that is pretty strong. Pretty strong. And there we go. There are 3 microphones. Oh, they're quite heavy actually. Quite heavy. So these obviously are supposed to fit them. That'll be interesting. That will be like birthing a cactus. I'm sure it'll stretch. I'm hoping it'll stretch. I can't get that in there. Blimey. I'll have to have a work on that to get it. Oh no, there we go. I might be able to. So that they come with it. There's 3 of those, and 3 microphones. What on earth could we be plotting? What on earth could we be planning?
A mega karaoke session.
A mega karaoke. Don't tempt Mike with that. So hopefully these. Let's try the orange one. We'll work with this. If not, I've got a problem. But it should do. So the idea is with having them in a case. I haven't had a microphone in a case before because I'll set it up in the studio and don't need it. And when we go out, we use digital recorders. But we are going to need better quality. You're wondering, aren't you? I'm not going to put you out of your misery. Not yet, I'm not. Right, let's get that. Not that end. That won't work, will it? It needs to be that end. So let's take that one out and make sure that that works. There we go. So push that in and it's good to go. Hence, orange cable. Orange foam dome, which looks like it would fit. Might need a little bit of persuasion. But the idea is that the foam dome matches the cable, so you know where you're at. That was my plan anyway. This is also like birthing a cactus backwards, but I think it will go. I think it'll go on there. They should make the case fractionally bigger, so when you've got your foam dome on, you don't have to take your foam dome off. Because you know what'll happen? Well, I can't be bothered taking the foam dome off, so I'll just sling them in the box. Ah, Carl's here, right. Spare one for doing a mic drop at the end of a killer presentation. I'm liking that one, Simon. I am liking that one. And Carl's saying, doing a podcast with guests. Well, we could do that, couldn't we? We could come up to you, Carl, and we could do a guest show. So there you go. Idea being foam and cable match.
We could record it from Cleveless Kitchen.
We could record it from Cleveless Kitchen. Yeah. Do you remember
Pete? Chinese.
The Chinese on the way into Cleveless. I would walk up there for their food. It's amazing. And the other one, Peter and Lee's, but that closed down. We like that. They did the best breakfast. Real Lancashire breakfast. We enjoyed that. So that's what we've got. We've got 6 of those. What could we be doing? I'm just leaving that there. I'm just leaving it. Well, yeah, karaoke, podcast with guests. That's a plan. That's one thing. But yeah, that was. What have we done? I have got one more item, but there's no way I'm going to get it on the desk. So what we'll do with it, we'll keep that one for next time. We'll do a video unboxing of that. It's very heavy and it's very awkward and it wouldn't fit on a desk. If you want to take a guess as to what that might be, feel free. There will be prizes if you're right. But as I've said, it's big and it's heavy. It's awkward. It wouldn't really go on a desk. And it's to do with either audio or presenting. One or the other. All the kit has been to do with audio or presenting. Or both. Could be both. So what our plans are for this Easter, between everything else we've got to do, so probably got about 10 minutes, haven't we, that we can test stuff, is to test all of this out for a big announcement coming soon. That's the plan. Oh, Carl's invited us. Awesome. We don't want to be doing things like that, Carl. Do you remember the last time we went, we bought the place out with Rock?
Yeah.
We went, what were we doing up there?
I have no idea.
Because it must have been after Mum died. I've no idea what we were doing up there, but we went somewhere up there, either Cleveland or Blackpool, and we bought a load of bars of rock. And we brought them back and we gave them to the ladies at church. These ladies are in the late 80s and early 90s. They were like kids with toys, weren't they? Oh, God, I had this when I was a girl. Might said we should have brought more back. So when we come up to Blackpool, Cleveland, we're going to clear the place out of rock. You've been warned. Coronation Rock. I broke my tooth on Coronation Rock when I was a kid. I shouldn't really admit that because it cost a flaming fortune to fix it.
Yes, your dentist might be listening.
No. I wouldn't dare tell my dentist. No.
You admitted it.
I didn't say I would be eating it now. I said I would be buying it for the ladies. Trust me, they've all got false teeth. Not a problem. I couldn't bite a bar of rock. You see, most people can bite rock, but I didn't realise when I was a kid. I was about 9, and I can picture myself sitting on the bin house outside, and I just bit it and thought, oh dear. And you know, I didn't even think, oh, I broke a tooth, not to worry. These days, you're having a meltdown. I thought I broke a tooth, never mind. Thing was, it was one of the front ones as well. But I had tooth problems, that's why it broke. It was nothing to do with the rock. So, so we're going to clear the place out when we get there. We could do that, you know. We could literally go up there, clear it out and sell the rock at the summer fair.
Yeah.
A rock shop.
Yeah.
I'm liking that idea. Trouble is, the summer fair just turns into a food fest. It's basically come through the door, give us all your money, and we'll stuff you with everything. We've got pancakes, we've got those kiddie sweets, we've got burgers. Just come to the summer fair and stuff yourself. A soapbox? No, not in that one. No. It's a plan. We're thinking 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And we'll tell you more when we know more. When we know more, we'll tell you more. But as you've seen tonight, this lot wasn't open, so we've shared it straight away. You have been there right from the beginning. What we now need to do is make sure that these things are working, and working with the equipment that we've got, and that we know how to work them, and that I remember to empty the card. Good job I had that phone as backup, wasn't it? Or we would have missed Mike's glory presentation, which of course you can hear on that website, which was brooklands196.com, if you want to watch the video that we did. But you'll be pleased to know, are you all unboxed out now? You should see the state of this place. Let me show you the state of the desk. Oh, let's have a look at all of it. That's my Velop. My Velop's still sat there. These are all the things we've just unboxed. Dangerous stuff. What am I like? Fabulous. Do you know, I'm going to do something alarming. I'll actually show you what the floor looks like. There you go. Oh, there's another box there to unbox. Oh my. That'll be for next time. There you go. That's the floor next to me. That is, what should we call that? MacBites headquarters naked. Unadulterated. All the kits. Oh, good grief. He lived directly behind the Coronation Rock factory. Wow. Do you know, I'm never into eating mint rock.
We need this.
No, you're okay. You can turn that off now. I like the strawberry one and the Tutti Frutti one. Do you remember the strawberry one that was quite thick? In the middle, there was a strawberry that ran all the way through it, surrounded by yellow. And then on the outside, it was like a sickly pink. Oh, it was sickly. I loved that. Mum used to get toffee apples. So, yeah, we love that. I like fudge as well. Oh, Carl, what are you doing to me? I'm putting on weight here just thinking about this. This is obscene. I now need to go up there for the day. Now, tomorrow, can we talk about something to eat?
Yeah.
Do tomorrow. We're thinking of visiting. What would you say? How would you describe it, Mike? It's the best market. I think it won Best UK Market. But it's an amazing place in terms of food. The food they have is just stunning. Didn't they have haggis sausages? Oh. So you go up to, it's called Bury. And you go up to Bury and they have the most amazing breakfasts. But there's also a place The one we showed you pictures of at Christmas called Slattery's, where they had cakes and sweets in cupboards. Now, the problem is it's Easter, which means you're not going to be able to move. The place is massive. I mean, that restaurant must hold what? 80, 100? And the car parking, I think they had spaces for 23 cars. Not good. So if we can get in, I might challenge Mike to a visit. But if we can't, we're knackered. Put the link in the chat so they can go and have a look at Slattery's. Oh, clotted cream fudge.
The guaranteed Easter delivery is now passed.
Yeah, I'm not worried about delivery. The clotted cream fudge is to die for. I will admit that. It's to die for. I've never really been into mint. Certainly not as a kid. It was strawberry for me. And then Mum used to eat Tutti Frutti and she'd say, try it. And when I did, that was really nice as well. So it would be strawberry or Tutti Frutti for me. But also the chocolate challenge. And there's the chocolate challenge, which we will talk about next week, should Mike partake of said chocolate challenge. Is there a page on it that tells you what's in that chocolate challenge? Basically, Slattery's was in the newspaper. They have run a chocolate challenge for the last 8 years. The chocolate challenge it's a set menu of, it starts off with a piece of cake. Now, when I say piece of cake, about the size of the one we had last week. And that is the start of it. So it's about the size of 3 normal pieces of cake. And I think it's covered in some kind of chocolate sauce. The idea is that you neck that and then you go through all of the rest of it, which from memory was drinking chocolate and desserts and you name it. I think it's about £15 or £16. If you do it, you get a medal. Didn't they say 8,500 had tried it and only 200 had done it? And of the 200 that did it, quite a few ended up making a sudden dash for the toilet to bring most of it back. It's very, very sickly. So, I challenged Mike. I thought it would be a good idea if Mike tried the chocolate challenge. If he does, if we can get in the place at some point, and he does, I'm going to video it. We might also open a book on whether you think he'll do it or not. I think he could. There was a couple went in, and in the story in the paper, which I'll find the link. He's found the thing. The couple couldn't do it, and they were chocoholics, and they said they couldn't do it. But I thought, you know what? You just need to try harder. I think Mike can do it. What do you guys reckon? You think Mike could do that? There's a lot of it, I'll grant you. But I definitely think it's worth a look. But as I'm saying, it's Saturday. It's Easter Saturday tomorrow. So I'm thinking it's going to be absolutely crawling with families and kids. So I don't think we're going to be able to get in tomorrow. But who knows? A lot of the kids are back on Wednesday. So the faith schools aren't going back till a week on Monday, but the other schools are going back on Wednesday. So it might be quiet Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You never know. Fingers crossed. Our other hope is that every parent has taken little ankle biters out of the country, go away on a holiday abroad and leave Slattery's to us. That's the next plan. So, did you enjoy that mega unboxing? Are you as exhausted as I am after that? And I haven't even set this equipment up yet. That's not great. I need to be doing that.
Graham's a chocoholic.
14 portions, 34 quid. That's not actually bad, is it, Graham? I haven't seen a caramel and chocolate cake. No, Carl's caved already. He reckons he'd be sick. I don't think Mike would. I think he might turn a very strange colour. But I reckon Mike could do that challenge.
Doesn't say how long you've got.
No, I said that. It doesn't say how long you've got. But the trouble is, if you eat it really quickly, you might get it down. But if you start drawing it out, after 20 minutes, your stomach's going to complain. So an idea might be to neck it quickly. When we went last time, you want to savour it. Well, you might be savouring it on the way back at that rate. When we went in last time, I was very good. I was very good. I just had a meringue. What was I thinking? I just had a meringue. But the lady next to us had ordered a triple dessert, and it came on like a long plate with 3 pots on it. And in one pot there was chocolate pieces, and in another there was, it looked like melted fudge. It looked like as though they poured fudge into a pot, basically. But then I realised what it was. The pot was made of chocolate, and what was in it was liquid chocolate. And you basically used a spoon and drank the thing. And she could only eat one of these 3 pots. I had no idea till she'd actually finished and gone that the pot was chocolate. It looked gorgeous. It was a cross between a Galaxy milk chocolate colour and a Caramac colour. Obviously, should we get through the door, there will be copious video and photos for your enjoyment. The big question is, will Mike manage Mike's mega challenge? The chocolate challenge. He's into the cakes page now. What you have to... Oh, there's a unicorn. There's a unicorn cake. In fact, there's more than one unicorn cake. Wow. There's hundreds of unicorn cakes. We've acquired a sort of step-grandchild, haven't we, who loves unicorns. So we're very aware of unicorns at the moment. Not that I'm old enough to be a grandmother, obviously. I don't know how on earth that happened. Big sister, I like to think of myself as. So that's the plan for the week. The plan for the week is to be completely overindulgent. But right now, we haven't really got anything uber sexy, have we? We've got fruit. Now, Graham, what have you had? What's everybody had? Because Graham was swindled last week with the fruit salad from Tesco in a pot. And given the cake that we had, you were greatly swindled. So share with us what you've got. And nuts, I've got my favourite, which is dry roast peanut and cashews. We went out, didn't we, on last Sunday. And they had some nibbles on the table, and I couldn't eat any of it. Mike did. But I looked at it and I thought, I can't eat much of that. And then I saw these peanuts, and I thought, oh, well, I can have peanuts. You know, they're not got gluten in. I'll have some peanuts. I haven't had a peanut in a standard, salted peanut in over 20 years. Nearly choked myself. Oh my, they were salty. I'm used to cashews, unsalted cashews. These things, I think they're from Aldi, weren't they? Whoa, they blew my head off. So I'm back to the unsalted. There you go, an adult nappy. I'll take one with me. Fruit salad in the pot again. But you did get a slice of cherry cake. Oh, and a hot cross bun. Excellent. I think you did better than last week, Graham. I think you did. Now, you see, I did have tuna. I had a tuna salad for lunch. And for dinner, we had fish. Fish and vegetables with, what's that sauce? The pink one. Marie Rose sauce. Yes. So it was a fish day. Believe you me, I'm going to make up for that tomorrow with a full English. Yeah, tomorrow I won't fancy a full English, but I woke up this morning and thought, I could just eat a full English. And you said it's Good Friday, and I thought, thanks for that. That was why I fancied it. So breakfast was non-existent because I couldn't face fish for breakfast as well. I was very good. I like beef. That's the problem. Beef and a full English is what I like. So fish is blah, isn't it? It's not blah, of course, from Bramley Farm, where we're going in 2 weeks, so that I'll take pictures of what we have then as well. We're going there in 2 weeks. Oh, peanut sandwiches. Now, Mike likes peanut butter, but I don't. Never, ever, 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 ever have done. So no, I don't like that at all, but Mike does. So leave him to it, I say. Leave him to it. I wonder if that'll go on there if I push it on from the bottom. Because I don't think it's supposed to hover like that, is it, Mike? Although it does seem fairly sturdy. But I actually don't think it's supposed to. I've got to get that on there somehow. I shall try that down the line. Right, now you need to know, because I'm still showing you that, aren't I? And that's no use to neither man nor beast. Let's get rid of that. Let's turn that off and let's get this on. Where am I? Oh, projector. Let's get that on. Are you on there? You are. Right, next one is the 3rd of May. I know that's not next weekend. Prior engagement, sorry and all that. But it'll be worthwhile because there'll be pictures of it. And we are equipment testing. Now, on that show, on the 3rd of May, you will be treated to a sneak peek at the huge studio update here at MacBites headquarters. Can't say fairer than that, can I? You've seen it all opened. Now you need to see it in situ. And that's what we'll include on that show. In the meanwhile, you need to keep sending in what you want to see and your questions and stuff, because that guides us as to what you want. So don't forget to do that. And that's where we'll be and when we'll be there. The 3rd is a Friday, isn't it, Mike? It is a Friday, yes. So it's another Friday. Not Good Friday, though. It's just a Friday. So it's 2 weeks away, 2 weeks today. Who's on holiday for Easter? Who's got any time off? We've got time off, but time off to us just means more time to do the techie stuff we do rather than the techie stuff we get paid for. Do you think that's a bit odd? It's like a dentist that does dental work in his holiday. But never mind, it's what we do. So let me know, who's off? Who's going away? Who's having a staycation? We have a lot of staycations. We like our tech too much to leave it. That's the thing. Let me know. Where did I put my bubble wrap? I'll play with my bubble wrap while you let me know if you've got a holiday. Here's my bubble wrap. Oh, there's acres of it, Mike. It's awesome. Whee! I'm just a big kid, aren't I? Do you know, I used to like little bubble wrap, but once I've seen that big stuff, the little stuff don't cut it anymore. It's like heroin, isn't it? You just get addicted to the next strength up. I'll probably be cut off YouTube now for mentioning the H word. But never mind. You've all gone quiet on me and you're not telling me if you're on holiday. Going away. You see, Carl doesn't need to go away. Carl's where I would go on holiday. Well, off work till Thursday's good though, isn't it? That's excellent. That's definitely worth doing. Definitely. I think we should do a MacBites meetup up the coast. I think everybody should come, shouldn't they? Which will be tricky because Carrie's away in Greece or somewhere. Turkey. No. Out that way. All these countries are the same to me. Yeah, I don't do abroad. But she's having a whale of a time anyway. And Graham's got it right, only work 2 days a week. That would work nicely for me, Graham. That really would. So you're off Thursday, Friday anyway. Yeah, that'll do. That will do. Right, well, if that's it, we'll head off. We'll have something to eat, which is sadly very healthy. I don't intend to be healthy tomorrow. Well, those other sausages we get from up there.
What pudding? I guess.
Was it? I can't remember the one.
English.
Is it Old English?
Yeah.
But they're amazing anyway. We'll show you. We'll take pictures. It's amazing. It would be an amazing day, Carl. We shall have to organise that. Apart from Graham, I think there's a lot of people that live north of us. But you see, when Graham says he lives a little bit further south, he means a lot further south. Graham, you're actually closer to France than us. That's not on. I call that very bad planning. But Jane's up here and Carrie's up here. You need to.
Curtis is in America.
Oh yes, and Curtis is in America. That's not good. No, that's a bit further away, isn't it? Well, of course we'll and Kevin. Kevin's in Virginia. Yeah, that's not great too. But what we'll do is, of course, we can live stream it, so they won't miss out. No one will miss out. And Blackpool and Cleveland is a great place to go. Do you remember when we took Mum and that? What was it called? The something of the sea. That ship that ground itself at Cleveland.
Yeah, we discussed that on the show.
We did because that was the one near Graham, but the one in Cleveland, the something dance. I think it was there ages, absolutely ages. And every time we went, Mum said, "Look at the state of that," and she really objected to it. It became a tourist attraction. She wasn't attracted to it in the slightest, I'm afraid. But we've got some great memories from up there. We'll dig out the pictures of Mayer when he was on Cleveland's beach. He loved that, didn't he? He absolutely had the time of his life. We also went with him to, what's that? The little park. If you're on the seafront, it's a small park with a crazy golf and like a big pond that's only about, well, it's not a pond, like a pool that's about 6 to 8 inches deep. That one. Yeah, they did cut that thing up. It's just the time it took. It seemed to be there for ages. Mum just couldn't understand people who would go to see it, who would stand there on the prom just staring at it. She said, like, it's a sight. Why would you need to stand there looking at it? And of course, it meant that the prom was always full, and that's where we parked. So she didn't like that at all. She didn't like the car park. Not that she minded paying. The car park by the bus station where the old B&M used to be. Because you had to put your number in, and she could never work the machines. This was a woman who was she was the first woman in the UK to program a computer at Esso and Shell in the 60s. Couldn't work the car park machine. She said it wasn't logical. I can't argue with her because I had exactly the same problem. But yeah, so she liked the prom and she couldn't get anywhere near the prom. So she didn't like that boat, that ship thing at all. I don't think she'd have liked going down and seeing the, what was that other one called? The one near Graham. Oh, I had the name of that in my head now. I've forgotten again. Oh, it's my age. What can I say? It's that and the fact I need something to eat. So we will head off and have something to eat. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. Got a sneak peek about you've got a sneak peek what kit we've got. You've not got a sneak peek about what we're doing with it. But you will have on the 3rd of May. As long as everything gets set up properly and works properly, we'll be able to share all that with you. So something to look forward to, but it's 2 weeks away. So do have a grand 2 weeks. Keep in touch with us. Twitter, Facebook, email. I am on Facebook now. It's good, isn't it? I know what I'm doing, almost-ish, on Facebook. Well, let's just say a lot more than I used to. What I used to do was cheat. I just used to have Facebook hooked up to Twitter, and every time I tweeted, it went on Facebook. And I wondered why there was no engagement. That was because I wasn't on Facebook replying to other people. But now I'm on Facebook replying to other people. So if you're on Facebook, say hello. Say hello. Oh, Carl knows where you can park and it's free. Tell me. The only place we know is on the front, at where that little fairgroundy thing used to be. If you're looking out to the sea to the left, that was the way we always went. So it's in front of like apartments. But basically, the car park's a nightmare because you've got to put your number in. My car number plate has one. It has it instead of having 3 numbers, it's got 2. And no car park machine on the planet likes it. So I daren't go in one of those or I'll get a ticket. It's not great, is it? Need a new car, but I'll think about it. I shall think about that. Not this year because it passed its MOT. It's 20 years old and it passed its MOT. So as long as it keeps going, I can keep spending money on tech. But at the first sign it's going to give up, my tech spending will be circumvented while I get a car. I might need to use my bike instead, Imagine that will be no good for all the kit, will it? Well, Carl can let me know where I need to park. That'll be good. So I'm heading off. We're heading off for something to eat. I'm having a fruit salad and some nuts, and I think Mike will be having the same. No, Graham's already partaken. Graham's not ridiculous. Graham doesn't try eating at this time of night. But if I was eating, I wouldn't be able to talk. And I can talk the hind leg off a donkey. So that's what we're planning. I hope you have a fantastic Easter weekend. At least you've got a bank holiday to play with, and maybe even more than that. So do have an absolutely fantastic time. We're going shopping. And not really sexy shopping. No. Well, it is if you include the full English. But that's the plan anyway. We won't be out long. And I've left next door Staffy in charge. Nearly took the arm off the postman last week, Postman made the mistake of going up the path unannounced. Yeah, that nearly didn't end well. But luckily I had him refeined. Right, okay then. So we're going to head off and we will see you next time in 2 weeks. Good night, guys. See you then.